welcome to the Foundations TV, and our guest tonight is Siraj Khan, or should I say the Siraj Khan. For those of us who have been very active in the community or have been watching the shows for the last 1.5 year or so, and that's how I have been associated with him as well. You must have definitely seen him around because his presence is not only inspiring but also very, very energizing to those who are present around him. At times, he can be the most significant voice in the room. He can be directing others to do telling them what to do. Or at other times, he could be just a quiet person sitting and observing and absorbing all the talents that are present in the room and just thinking through a process of how he is going to unveil the potential of every person present in the room. So that's who Siraj Khan is, and we are very, very fortunate to have him here tonight with us. And that actually brings us to our very first question. Welcome to the Foundations TV, Siraji. It's such a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you, thank you.
Most of our audiences who are listening to us tonight are people who have seen Siraji either on stage or backstage, and he's certainly a very well-known person in the community here of New England, in the South Asian community of New England, and people know him as a stage personality. What we want to do is we want to trace back a little bit, and we want to understand from you, Siraji, today that how did this journey begin for you and how did it evolve to where you are today? So what was your first experience of stage, how you remember it, and how did you get where you are today?
You're the stage personality. It was so amusing. I'm no great stage personality, but my association with stage goes back to my school days, I guess, singing on stage and doing various student dramas. Whenever I was asked to participate in anything, I used to jump into it and felt very comfortable. And then the college and growing up and got married. But I think if I were to look back, it was music which really brought me on stage. I was really at my best, and just sharing the music, presenting the best possible to the people, and sharing my joys with the others. And music really, I thought, was the best way to do it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So this is really nice, and I can totally see you in that, in enjoying music, because I have been associated with you in certain shows here in the last 1.5 years. And most of the shows that we have worked together on, I have observed you sitting and enjoying the music even during the rehearsals. That seems to be something that is the closest to your heart. So certainly that's very nice to hear from you as well. On that note, I would like to hear a little more about the shows that Siraji has been involved in recently, and what are the different roles that you have been playing, Siraji, for all the different shows that we see your name popping up.
Well, something very close to my heart, as most people know, is I've been doing the O.P. Nayyar nights now since he passed away, the great man, from 2007 up to last year. Every year, religiously, annual show, and it is very moving that how many people have joined in my journey in that, but with such passion. So that was that. I recall 2011, one of my most fondest memories is doing a Geeta Dutt show. Here's what's called Hawaon Ke Tarane, where it had a black and white theme. Can you imagine 70% of the audience were wearing black and white at my request? I mean, it's most incredible.
That's fascinating.
So I produced and directed that. That included the entire music and the whole 9 yards. We did, let's see, last year, Ruhe Sahib, that I co-produced with Harish Dang and Razia Mashkoor, three of us, and I was a creative director for that, and that was a huge hit, where we projected a poet. Normally it's a music director or a singer. We had Melodies and Memories. I remember Shankar Jackson Night with Sharda. I that again produced, directed that, and what else? We had more recently Madhubala.
Yes.
That was and you remember you were part of it as well.
Absolutely.
How wonderful that was, and Much more recent. Well, I was a program manager for Adnan Sami show 31st of March, in which I was not on stage while the show was on, but I did everything backstage and got everything going, coordinated everything. So that was lovely, and I of course experienced my very fond memories about the Din Check event,
Oh yes.
in
How
which
did
again
Yes.
I was with you. So
Absolutely.
so um, the role that I had has been different, has been backstage, front stage, creative, music, and I've enjoyed everything that that I've done.
That's so wonderful. Playing different roles is absolutely an enriching experience, not just for you, but also for the audiences, because they get to see all the different talents that you bring along with you. So, that actually brings us to the next show that you are involved with, which is Sahib, Bibi or Guru Dutt. And I would love to hear from Siraji now what role he is playing in that show.
Well, that is very interesting, and there's a very interesting connection. I remember I told you about O.P. Nayyar. Well, O.P. Nayyar and Guru Dutt had a very strong connection. And all the old movies, R-Par, CID, and that came in very naturally. So I got the assignment of taking care of the music, the songs, the sequence, who's going to sing what, and to go alignment with the characterization. So I think that was, and I would really request the listeners who are watching this to come on September 7th and witness this very, very unusual event. It's a combination of music, literature, acting, and a lot, looking at a fantastic personality that Guru Dutt was.
That's extremely exciting for everybody, I'm sure. Guru Dutt has a lot that we can all get inspired from his life, and this show seems to be coming together really well. And with talent such as yours, I think there is no reason for any one of us to miss that show. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody on September 7th, 2013 at the Keefe Tech Auditorium starting 5:30 sharp. And the tickets are already, I hear they're already available on Lokwani as well as Boston Desi Connection. So please go ahead and buy your tickets, and we would love to see you there. Alright, so we'll be back after a short break. Welcome back. We're going to actually talk about something really, really interesting now. From what we hear and what I understand, the more you travel, the broader the experiences and the more enlightening it gets for a person. So what I have heard about Siraji, that he has traveled to over 70 countries, and that is really, really intriguing to me. So that's what I want to hear about, your experiences as a traveler and how it enriched your life.
Yeah, it is probably now 75 countries. It could be that.
Wow.
Yes, and travel is very fascinating. It's a reason behind the travel is work, pleasure, adventure, all combined. My wife Yasmin also loves travel, so that always helps. I consider myself as a world citizen, like I was telling you, and live a life without boundaries, and that is really as an outcome of. So it's been and like a lot of people would think that 70 countries would be Europe and all the exotic places, but I fortunately or unfortunately have been into very terrible places with tough terrain, and like sub-Saharan Africa and some of the Asian countries, but every country had a separate different experience. So I don't know whether it answers your question.
It does actually, but I would like to go a little deeper in here, and I would like to hear at least one or two interesting, funny, or something that once in a lifetime kind of experiences. I'm sure you have many, but I would love to hear one.
Well, I set up my company. I'm a pathfinder. I was working for a company called Pathfinder, so kind of interesting. I was setting up the company's office in Papua New Guinea, and I interacted with all sorts of people there, but including cannibals. And I actually slept one night in a cannibal village.
Oh.
And my mother and my wife were praying for my safety. You know, they thought that they would consume me, and I ended up the evening there. There was no telephone, no water, pure water and stuff like that. No electricity, by the way. And around the fire, they were doing their own music and all that, and I was asked to sing, and I sang "Maang ke saath tumhara maine maang liya sansar." And there was a time when Nair Sahib was alive, so I was I met him, and I told him that Nair Sahib, maine aapka gana cannibals ke saath bhi maine, and he gave me a hug, so this is what about music, the music is so that's I think the only international and global language. Everybody understands that, any country, and this is I've come to be a great believer in that. And I do a lot of bridge building through music. I've made more friends through music than through anything else professionally.
Wonderful, wonderful. So three things actually, while I was listening to your experiences, three things immediately came to my mind. If I was in your place, I would be so scared sleeping in the same place as the tribal population. I truly would be very uneasy with that. So that kudos to you for your bravery. That's one thing. The other thing I would have loved to do, like you were describing how people were running around the fire and doing their thing. I wish we had Facebook at that time. I would have loved to see pictures of that.
Well, I do have pictures actually.
You do?
Great. I have pictures. It's not on Facebook.
Yeah,
but it is that it is something to be standing next. Picture taken with a cannibal.
Yes. So I would
and
love.
The whole village and with the chief as well. I was with the chief.
Wow. That is something that I would love to see. And of course, like you said, the third thing that immediately struck me was music has no language, and no matter where you are, any song you sing or any melody that you can create, just with the moment, being in the moment. It creates, adds more beauty to the moment itself.
Absolutely. So, I couldn't agree with you more.
So even though the flow of conversation has been so interesting, and I would go on forever and ever listening to the stories, the interesting anecdotes that you have to narrate to all of us. But in the interest of time, I would like to bring us to the last question of this interview, which is since we're here in Foundations TV and our tag is spreading inspiration through awareness. So what is the inspiring message you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, Gauri, there's something we did not touch in the entire interview, and maybe this is a good time to do it, is my passion for education and knowledge. And that is, I'm not in the academia at all, but this has been a great driver for me. My message, I think it's probably well contained in one of Mark Twain's quotes, in which he said that I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. And this is what it's all about, the travel and broadening your horizon. Whatever way you do it, I think it's a great way that people, there's no end to it, no end to seeking knowledge. And this is something that I'd like to pass on to not only just to kids, but even to people older than me. Because I tell you, it is very, very frustrating to see people who've taken up retirement and they're just having chai and reading newspapers and TV and watching politics. I mean, that is, you got to go out there and spread the knowledge and experience that you've acquired.
Wonderful, wonderful. Such a wonderful message. And my takeaway from this one, and hopefully the takeaway for the audiences as well, is that you don't stop learning in your life, and you never stop growing in your life.
True.
And the width of your experiences is what adds to the knowledge. So continue to widen your sphere, continue to learn whatever you can, and continue to grow in whichever direction your heart takes you. So this is what we would like to end at tonight. Thank you so much, Siraji, for being here in the Foundations TV.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity, and it's wonderful, and I wish only the best for Foundation TV. It's a good start, and made just like a plant flourish and cultivate into a big tree.
Thank you.